We're going to get into a little bit of business about Rockwall, Texas. You know Rockwall, but you probably don't know Rockwall as well as you think. And there's some cool new stuff we want to talk about as it relates to Rockwall.
I have numbers.
Oh, God, he loves the stats, Aaron.
All right, so I've got numbers here for kind of overall home sales over the last 5 years. And I've also got homes on at least an acre. Mm-hmm. And this actually surprised me.
One of my favorite things about
Pop quiz. We're going to play a pop quiz here. On average, what percentage of homes sold in Rockwall are on at least 1 acre of land?
56%.
Ooh, I like the conviction and the specificity there. I'm going to say it's nowhere near that high. It's higher than a lot of other areas, but I could get in trouble here. I'm going to say high teens. It's not even that high, probably.
Connie?
What percentage of homes in Rockwall are on 1 acre or more?
20.
It's between 9 and 11.
Yeah.
I thought it would be less than that, if I'm honest with you, because when I think of Rockwall, I think of downtown, I think of the harbor, the marina, I think of neighborhoods. I don't think of.
So the reality is,
on that
I
big.
never go over there.
my number was off, but my attitude was right. It's a higher percentage than a lot of areas around here, but it's never that much. There's just not, in a densely populated city like DFW, there's just not that many acreage properties. There are way more than they're way more than the average consumer thinks. So it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but my point here is when we talk about the acreage property thing, in our mind, there's about 34,000 homes that we are really focused on. Now, there's over 200,000, depending on where you draw that outer ring of the Metroplex. So there's a lot of it. But there are millions of homes in DFW, right? So areas like Rockwall, which used to feel out on the edge and now feel like kind of the inner edge because there's way more beyond Rockwall. But they are mostly planned or master planned communities that have 2,000 new homes. Whereas the neighborhood over there with 2 acre properties has 30 homes.
Right, and we're talking over the course of a year in Rockwall, there's about 12-ish hundred homes that sell.
Right.
And about
100-ish.
120-ish of those are homes on at least an acre.
Yeah, so I was high when I said high teens. 11's a number that's probably that number is probably a bit higher in a more optimistic market because that is one of those places people are like, I'm going to move a little further out, not way out. I'm going to bump out of Dallas, Plano, Richardson, East Dallas. I'm going to bump out to Rockwall. 20 more minutes, not another hour. And so I bet that number is 12 or 13, maybe in a little bit more of a seller's market.
What percentage more does a home on at least an acre sell for compared to one that is less than?
In Rockwall?
In Rockwall.
How much more does an acreage property sell for in Rockwall than a typical?
20.
Okay, 20 from court.
15.
Okay.
9%.
You're all way off. Aaron, I'm going to ask you to repeat the number you said on the first guessing game.
56%.
56%.
Okay, so I need to defend myself here. I was never going to be real close on that. But I'm going to say this. As it relates to my last comment, the last 2.5 to 3 years, those values are so all over the place that I would argue that is an accurate number for the last year. I would argue that that's not emblematic of what is typical at all in DFW.
No, I mean, that's over the last 5 years. I mean, I'm going if I give you 2021 neighborhoods, 379, homes on an acre, 618.
So, but my
now they're into the sevens.
My point is, if you tightened that up and said 2,500 square foot houses, the value's higher because of the lot size. Of course, they're way high. You're talking about a fifth of an acre lot to a 1 or more acre lot. You're already 5 times larger lot. So what I'm saying is the average value per foot type thing is probably 5 to 15% more. But when you compare property for property, it's gonna be way more. But if you tried to compare apples to apples, it would be nowhere near that high. But when you have 5 times the land, it's gonna be way more. Okay, we don't need to dig into the weeds. What else do you love about Rockwall? First of all, I love that it's on. A lot of it is on, if not near the lake. You get some elevation as you're headed out east. Regardless of which bridge you go over, you start getting a little bit of elevation once you cross over onto the Rockwall side. And so it's just got some really beautiful views. There's some great mixed use developments over there where you can go to the movie or go to dinner or stay at a hotel and you just don't feel like you're in DFW for a few minutes. Beautiful lake views. The marina out there is awesome. There's a pretty significant sailing community, believe it or not. Of course, there's pontoon boats and speedboats and skiing, water skiing and all that stuff. But there's also a cool sailing community. And then once you get out of that, there are some incredibly gorgeous neighborhoods that are a little bit older, mature trees, some elevation, golf courses, country clubs, and then you get into the bigger communities that dropped 2,000 homes, kind of clear cut the trees, and even those are nice. It's a great place to live.
Did you know that there's a vineyard and winery out in Rockwall?
I did.
The San Martino.
I was going to say, I couldn't tell you the name of it, but I did know of it. You don't have to go too far to the east in Greenville. There's several more between Rockwall and out. So living in Rockwall, if you are a food and wine enthusiast, you can obviously come into town in DFW and have tons of options, but you can also go out further east and there's some really cool stuff out there. Aaron, what comes to mind when you think Rockwall?
It's a drive. But
for someone who lives, I won't tell everyone where you live, but who lives in Dallas County, let's say, it's a little bit of a drive.
But it is pretty as you drive out. To your point, the lake is, I've been on the lake, done wakeboarding, and there's a really active community out there. I think of Bass Pro Shop.
Yep.
You know, there's there is reasons to go out there for sure. Like Courtney said, I just don't drive out there.
So here's what I hear a lot of people say that don't live there. It's an awesome, well-rounded community. Like you said, commercial, shopping, adventure, outdoors, schools are generally well thought of, but people don't love crossing the bridge. So it's like, if you're going to live out there, you kind of want to stay out there. It's not terribly difficult to get in, but at drive time, not everyone's favorite. So check out Rockwall, Texas.